YouTube, Quinn Wade coming to you with that basketball analysis on YouTube and on analysisplayground.com. We're going to talk about the Denver Nuggets. The former champions got dethroned early in the playoffs against the Minnesota Timberwolves. They was built to beat the Denver Nuggets, but it was a 7-game series that was absolutely incredible to watch. Seeing teams go toe to toe, blow for blow, to battle for the ability to go to the conference finals. And obviously, the Minnesota Timberwolves was able to win and get it done. And a lot of people were just shocked because Jokic didn't play as well down that stretch like he usually do, and Jamal Murray didn't play that well either. And then you look at the fact that where was Aaron Gordon? Where was Michael Porter? Those guys didn't step up like they usually do in those moments, in those opportunities, and they ended up getting sent home. And it's unfortunate, but it's part of the game. We knew that Denver had the chance as they finished number 2 in the Western Conference with the same record as Oklahoma City. And we knew that they would be a threat. Maybe having that number 1 seed would have been the difference of them getting to the finals or not, but they still had that opportunity to still chase Dallas and see if they can beat Dallas in a 7-game series, which I think that's a more favorable matchup for Denver than a team like Minnesota. So that could help them get to the finals. But who would have knew if they still would be able to beat the Boston Celtics anyway? Because if you get to the finals, the goal is to win it, not just to get there. So by them already winning a championship last year, it made sense for them to put all their cards and all their eggs in one basket and go all in for a win. They unfortunately came up short, and I see this year being tough for the Denver Nuggets too, because you're having guys that have huge injuries in Jamal Murray and Michael Porter, and you're needing them to stay healthier more than ever now. And the fact that you're going to have to ride those players for an 82-game season with Jokic, who's getting older, and he's showing that he's rushing and forcing up some shots just because he needs guys to be able to create their own shot and be able to step up so he don't have to do all of the work and all of the offensive load. He's capable of it, yeah, obviously, but that's wear and tear mentally, that's wear and tear fatigue-wise, and that's wear and tear on your body. The more you're utilized, the more you get banged up, the more injuries you get, the worse you get, and so on and so on. So I think their main goal this year shouldn't just be to win games. Their main goal should be to stay healthy. Their main goal should be able to help Jokic out on the offensive end and help him out also on the defensive end, so that way he can age gracefully with this organization and with his team. He's the best Denver Nugget ever. He's one of the most dominant players we have ever seen in a game of basketball. It shouldn't just be Jokic versus the world every single night like it seems like it's going to be this year. Because let's just be honest about it. Jamal Murray didn't even play well in the Olympics, and Aaron Gordon is not an offensive guy, and Michael Porter Jr. has just become a spot up shooter type of guy that's a solid rebounder. They're going to need more than that offensively if they want to beat teams that's getting better. It's either you're getting better or you're getting passed up. That was always one of my philosophies in basketball. That's why when you see the free agency, look at all these teams that made moves to up their perimeter defense, that have signed people still to this day are still getting signed so they can increase their roster to compete with whoever they have to compete with to be able to win games, to be able to have a playoff advantage, or to have assets to get to the next superstar that's available, or even have enough to make a move in the trade deadline just in case they short on their goals that year, which this team might be one of those teams that's looking for a buyout target. This team might be one of them teams looking for another trade target because Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter, Jamal Murray, and Jokic was enough to win back then. They have lost a lot of talent since. They have gotten a lot younger. Those guys are also going to have to come in and contribute very fast and very quick, whether they can or they can't. We don't really know that, but now they have no choice but to be exactly what they want to do. Have a lot of playing time, be the hero for the team, and be the guy that made the difference. That's what all role players want to be if they're not a superstar. Makes perfect sense until you actually have to live it each and every night, and teams still look at you as one of the best teams in the league. So you're still going to have that target on your back because you're a team that, as long as Jokic is healthy, you have to pay attention to. That's how dominant this man is. And when I look at this roster, you look at guys like Christian Braun. What are you going to get out of this guy? He's 23 years old, has some playoff experience, has the ability to handle the ball, has the ability to score a little bit. Can he be more than a ball handler? Can he be more than a cutter? We don't know, but he's going to have to do a little bit more than just do the simplicity thing. He's going to have to be able to hit the three. He's going to have to be able to create a little bit off the dribble and make some shots. He's going to be able to have to get to the basket and create some shots, even if it's for Jokic or Aaron Gordon or guys like the starters. Can DeAndre Jordan do more than sit on the bench and watch Jokic dominate? He's going to have to be a great defender. He might even have to play with Jokic. He's going to need to get back to the rebounding and protecting the rim at a decent level, since I don't expect him to be able to do it at an elite level anymore. Can Jamal Murray be more than a guy that just shows up when he shows up? He has to be more consistent throughout the game. He's going to have to be more consistent with his passing ability, just because teams have gotten better in the Western Conference. Can Aaron Gordon be more than just a defender? That's something that we have to see, because his offensive game still isn't where it needs to be, but he can still be more spotty and more shot selection wise, be more efficient just by paying attention to where the openings are in the defense and being able to do more than just cut to the basket and try to make a jump shot. You got to be able to knock those shots down when they're available, and you have to do it efficiently. He has done it in the past. You need to get back to doing that now. You look at Deron Holmes is another guy. He's a 6'9" body that they call a center. He likes to play in the paint. He's not big enough. He's not strong enough to guard some of these centers that even Jokic is struggling to guard. He's going to have to step up and use his speed and athleticism, just like a DeAndre Jordan, to be more efficient as a player when it comes to defense and offense. And I also look at Zeke Naji. What are they going to get out of this guy? He's another guy that has the size and he has the strength and the quickness, but he hasn't been able to put it all together mentally and on the basketball court. I look at Jalen Pickett. I don't know what they're going to get out of this guy. He's on the roster, but I don't think he's even going to be an 8th or a 9th guy. You look at Michael Porter Jr., will he be able to step up at that 6'10", be able to do more than catch and shoot? He had the back surgery a couple years ago. He's been more healthier. He's been playing more games. He's been one of the big parts of their team, and that's why they paid him so much money, because he understands his game, he understands his role, and he doesn't try to get in the way. But now they need somebody to do a little bit more offensively and give them a little bit more dynamic offensively and defensively, because the more you take care of the ball offensively and the more efficient you are offensively, it makes your defense a lot easier to be set. It makes your defense a lot easier, which gives you more energy, gives you more strength to be able to do more, because you're not wasting energy chasing everybody down on transition or trying to find a way to do something that can cost you to turn the ball over. And Michael Porter Jr., not the greatest handle, not the ability to break down the defense with his dribble, but that's something that he can work on if he modeled his game after KD and Tracy McGrady. They was able to do it at that size. Why Michael Porter Jr. can't eventually do it? I know he was stiff. I know he wasn't able to do what he used to do because of the back injury, but he should be healthier now, and he should be able to bulk up a little bit more so that way he can finish better and attack the rim just a little bit better. Somebody's going to have to step up is basically what I'm saying. Russell Westbrook was a huge addition to their bench because nobody else really joined this team in the offseason besides guys like Peyton Watson, who's a 6'7" forward, or Hunter Tyson, or Julian Strawther. We looking at these guys like, what are they going to be? You know, when they're this young and they're not used to the spotlight, they're not used to playing against some of the top teams on a daily basis and getting real minutes and showing that they can make a real impact. They deserve some type of, notoriety because they're on the roster, but what are they really going to do that we know they can do? We know Russell Westbrook can rebound if he's not shooting the ball well. We know that he's going to play with energy. We know he can get out in transition. We know he can be a solid playmaker when he's on the court, but we know offensively he can be a dud, and he can also turn the ball over a little bit too much and get you in a funk or get you in a situation where you lose a lead because he wants to do stuff that isn't really recommended for a guy at his position, and that could be something that hurts you. So Russell Westbrook, you have to love him. You have to have a little hate for him because he does a wild style and he just has that ability to be a chaotic player. But there's some positives, and the pros might outweigh the cons when you also have Jokic on the court, making it easier to make decisions, making it easier to make plays because he's doing it for you. All you have to do is knock down the mid-range, knock down the three, and get a cut to the basket and get out in transition, and you can be a double-figure scorer on this Denver team, especially if you're going to get 10 to 15 plus minutes. But that's their biggest acquisition this summer, was a guy that people didn't like in Los Angeles Lakers or with the Los Angeles Clippers because he didn't really play well, especially in the playoffs. And now you're banking on him to play better with you. That's something that we still have to wait and see on, because it's important to encourage players or build the confidence of players, but it's also crazy to think that he would change drastically just because of one player. And that's something that they feel that they can do with Jokic. It's just worth bringing up that Russell Westbrook is the biggest move that they have made all summer, especially after losing in the second round. We gonna think that's loco, that's kind of crazy, but we also have to give them credit for at least trying to keep their main core intact, because they still have confidence that they can get it done, even though those guys going to have to raise their game and their state of play to a higher level if they want to compete in today's game. There's 2 years, teams got better, teams got smarter, teams got wiser, teams have prepared against you, teams know what to expect from you, teams know exactly what you're trying to do. It was a surprise. There was a learning period. Now they got you figured out. And now they have to find ways to expand their game as a team, as teammates, as players, as individuals. And now we have to see if they're actually going to be able to do that this season. And what I expect from the Denver Nuggets, I expect them to be a playoff team. I expect them to be able to get out of the first round. I expect Jokic to be in the MVP conversation. I expect them to have Jamal Murray figure out, do he want to be a Denver Nugget? Do they want him to be a Denver Nugget? We still haven't seen no contract with him be signed with an extension, and he didn't look that good in the Olympics or in the playoffs. So now you're struggling with Russell Westbrook and Jamal Murray. You can't have them both having bad games at the same time, because that's more pressure on Jokic to be able to step up. Even though this is what you're paying Jokic the super max for, it does get old after a while carrying all these guys when they're supposed to be carrying their weight too for you to be able to win. So that's what I have to say. MVP Jokic conversation, what to expect, playoff team, decent playoff run, come up a little short to teams like Dallas, Oklahoma. I feel like those teams have better role players. Those teams have guys that can really step up defensively, and this team doesn't have that as much anymore. They lost a lot of talent the last 2 years off this roster because people want to get paid, people want to get a bigger role, people got their rings and wanted to leave, or they just couldn't keep up financially because they paid Michael Porter, Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, and Jokic so much money that they need these guys to take pay cuts, and guys not really willing to do that, especially after winning the ring already. Guys have different intentions and different goals and different ambitions, so they ended up leaving and going somewhere else. Other than that, that's a proper understanding. Comment, like, subscribe, and share. If you like this type of content, continue to hit the like button, continue to subscribe, continue to hit the notification bell, continue to share this content too to other platforms or other people so they can get used to the channel. That's all I'm asking you guys to do, as the content is free on YouTube anyway, even though I still obviously get paid. It's free for you guys to watch, and I'm happy that you guys have been enjoying the content lately. Also, if you want to see tributes and analysis breakdowns or any other content, I upload pretty much every day with some type of video. So if you're accustomed to that, make sure you check out the older videos, because it's some you may have missed because you could get busy, or you can be on a trip, or you can be on a vacation. But when you get downtime, don't forget to check out some of those videos that you might have missed, because you might love them and you might want to watch them anyway. Other than that, if you're new to the channel, I would recommend watching my older videos, or watching this video, you enjoy it, hitting the like button, and just becoming a fan of the channel by subscribing. Other than that, Quinn Wade, I'm gone.